Docstar version 3.13 End User Tips and Frequently Asked Questions, Part 1. This session will focus on tips and suggestions for various parts of your Docstar software. The goal is to help make the program more efficient for you and your user groups. Let's begin. The first part I'd like to touch on is defining user preferences. When you log in, if you go to Options, My Preferences, a couple of tabs you want to take a look at is the first one is if you're a scan person, if you're filing using a scanner, a desktop scanner, this first tab is helpful because you can define which is your primary or your default template. Under the inbox, you can also set this to file automatically. So your default filing mode, when you're using the file inbox, preferred setting would be auto here. Under the retrieve tab, you would want to have the following checked off. Documents only for retrieve item default, documents only. And you'd want to also ensure that display vocabulary is checked off. This allows you to type and use predictive vocabulary when you're retrieving. The next tab you want to choose is Send To. This allows you to define which is your tab for when you want to send or print. If you find that you mostly email within Docstar, you can change that to here, and you can also set your defined file structure as far as how you want your documents to be sent out, primarily as a PDF. If you choose, you can also say print. If you find that you're normally printing out of Docstar, then you would want to define print tab. The last tab within the preferences is the navigation. Just ensure that all of these are checked off as they will be beneficial to you. We'll cover that in a later session, but primarily I think the window or show windows is a key element, and save. The next piece I'd like to talk about is on the retrieve side. When you go to retrieve, one helpful tip is you can do a retrieve. Here I'm just searching on a last name. Whenever you do a retrieve, you'll notice that all the documents that you've retrieved have come up and they're highlighted in blue. In this case, it's showing me 4 documents. When I hit my Enter key on my keyboard, what you'll notice is a quick way of seeing that batch of documents. It shows you the collection up here in the top, document 104, and I can quickly navigate through those documents. If I do a retrieve, and in my retrieve there's a document that has multiple pages, the benefit here is I can see my document counter up here, which document I'm on, and down below it displays the document and how many pages are in that, and now I can navigate through that particular document. So real quickly, when I do a retrieve, I can, by hitting that Enter key, it allows me to find my documents quickly and navigate through document by document. The next piece I'd like to speak to is the ability to use the Send To function within the Docstar software. When I am viewing a document, I can do one of two things. I can either choose this little envelope icon right here, Send To, or I can go to File, Send To. The navigation window comes up. It allows me to choose either my default, in this case I've defined email. And when I'm using Outlook, one thing I like to stress to our end users is the ability to, if I'm using Outlook, there is no need to keep a separate address list here within Docstar. There's no need to put that person's email address that you're sending to within here. By simply choosing what I want to send, which pages I want to send, maybe I want to send pages 5 through 8 and page 12. I can define what I want to send here, and then by hitting OK, it'll now then collect that document, make it a PDF, and open up my Outlook. Now it is attached as a PDF. Now I'm working in my normal Outlook screen. I can attach my signature. I can use my address book. I can change my subject, change my body. The other piece I'd like to cover within the Send To is on the Print tab. You'll notice your default printers are set up. So when you go to print from your workstation, your list of printers that have been installed will show up in this drop-down list with your default one coming up first. The next piece of Docstar that I'd like to cover is the ability to merge documents. Merging happens in the file inbox, and it is useful when I need to have a previously filed document And now I have new pages that might have come in. I can take those newly brought in documents. In this case, I have a data link guide that I brought in, and I have my existing document that's already been filed. I can then select those documents, and I can choose the little stapler icon. This then allows me to merge these two documents into one. Now I have a 51-page document, where before I had a 50-page document and a 1-page document. So by choosing my documents, I can select multiple. It would then take these 3 documents, and what you'll notice is it pulls the bottom documents up into the top document, as you'll see here when I merge. It has now pulled those bottom documents into the top document, and now I have one 3-page document. The next piece I'd like to also discuss along those same lines is the ability to do page options and scan additional pages. I simply open up my document, whether it's in my inbox or if it's already been filed. I can take an already filed document and I can go up to Pages and Page Options. This allows me to move pages around. If I have this page and I want to drag it, I can move it within the document. It's now moved to page 3. I can also use this Page Options function under Pages and Page Options. I can also use this to take and delete pages if I have delete rights. So by selecting the page and deleting, I can do that. I can also do this. I can also select a page or pages and move those within this document. Maybe I want these after page 8. And then move those within the document. This is also beneficial if I need to split out a document. Maybe I've scanned additional pages into here, or I want to split out a batch of invoices. I select my document, or I select my page or pages, and I can then choose Move to New Document, or I can select Copy to New Document. So I've got my page selected, Move to New Document, and then that allows me to do that. The next piece I can also do with a filed document is I can go back up to Pages, and if I was connected to a desktop scanner, I can say Scan New Pages, which allows me to scan additional pages into this document if I need to append or merge additional documents within this document from the scanner. So by using that Pages, Scan New Pages, it then allows me to scan additional pages into this document. The last piece I'd like to cover on this tutorial for part 1 of Docstar features is I'd also like to touch on 2 new items that have been added to version 3.13. The first item is when I go to retrieve, I have the ability now to be able to choose and select columns. In Docstar, we use some custom fields. If I go up to View, Columns, it allows me to customize the way my retrieve screen is displayed down here. If I'm not using the modified date, I can take that out. Maybe I'm more concerned or interested in the policy number. I can add that, and I want to move it up closer to keywords. If I'm not using pages, I can remove the pages column. I've selected the columns I want to see when I'm on retrieve, so when I hit OK, now you can see I've got my title, keywords, policy number, my classification. So these columns are now selectable, and I can define those by user as I see fit. The last one I would like to touch on is when I'm retrieving a document, I can have a document out, and it's been asked to be able to select and make the text within a document, be able to take that text and copy it to another document outside of Docstar. The way that can be done now with this new version is I can have my text within a document. Here it says the PDF. I can right-click and choose OCR region, or I could do the whole page or a certain field. But in this case, when I do region, I then right-click on a paragraph or paragraphs. It then goes and uses the OCR engine, recognizes that text, and then allows me to copy it to a clipboard. Now I have that text. I can open up a program like Office, Word. and paste that text in there. Now I have editable text that I can work with in another document. Thank you for your attention, and please make sure you check out our other how-to videos on Docstar.